But never forget that love is always stronger than fear. Love saved me, and I know it will save you too. Barf. Seriously, who actually talks like this? Did Nicholas Sparks personally bottle the tears of 1,000 heartbroken teenagers to write this stuff?
That's a direct quote from the book we're supposed to be discussing. The Wish. It sets a certain tone, a tone many readers find deeply moving.
Moving. It's moving me towards the nearest exit. Welcome back to Heartbook Radio, folks, the only book show brave enough to admit that sometimes love isn't stronger than fear. Sometimes fear makes you ship your pregnant teenager off to an island, which is exactly what happens in this tear-soaked tragedy.
That's a reductive summary. The Wish follows Maggie Dawes, reflecting on her past, specifically the summer of 1996 when, yes, she was sent to Ocracoke after becoming pregnant at 16 while currently battling a terminal illness. Sparks is exploring themes of memory, regret, and enduring love.
Exploring themes. He's hitting his usual bingo card. Teen angst, check. Picturesque small town, check. Terminal illness, double check. And don't forget the perfect boy who ruins you for all other men. It's like he has a mad libs for making soccer moms weep. Remember how you tried to defend Edward Cullen's brooding? This is the same energy, just with more cancer.
We are not relitigating Twilight. Bryce Trickett, the young man Maggie meets, serves as an idealized symbol of first love, and Maggie's parents' reaction, while harsh by today's standards.
Harsh. They banished her, like she was carrying the plague. My Aunt Carol grounded me for a month for sneaking out. She didn't exile me to some island with a relative I barely knew. These parents are monsters, cancelled.
It was 1996, societal pressures were different.
Oh, please, let's talk about Maggie. Successful photographer, world traveller, blah blah blah. But she spends her dying days obsessing over a boy she knew for one summer. 23 years ago, honey, get a grip, or, therapy. I diagnose her with acute nostalgia poisoning, possibly complicated by terminal teenage pianitis.
She's facing her mortality. It's natural to reflect on pivotal moments, and Bryce represented a time of intense connection and acceptance. When she felt abandoned, it's poignant.
Poignant, or pathetic. One reviewer called her frumpy, lackadaisical, low, achieving. How do you go from renowned photographer to that? Was she just taking selfies? And Bryce, Mr. Perfect, handsome, sensitive, teaches her photography and gets into West Point. 0 flaws. Give me a break. He probably flossed after every meal and volunteered at a puppy orphanage. Annoying.
Idealized characters are common in romance. He represents what she lost.
What about the assistant, Mark Creepy Much? Dying lady hires young dude, spills her entire romantic history, like he's her priest/therapist/. Well, we all know the twist, right? Everyone saw it coming. Was he an angel, or just waiting for the inheritance? I bet he was rifling through her stuff when she was asleep.
That's baseless speculation. Mark provides a narrative framework, allowing Maggie to tell her story. The connection between them is central to the plot's resolution, predictable or not.
Predictable is putting it mildly. So, the big question, is this book actually any good, or is it just emotional manipulation wrapped in a pretty coastal setting?
Well, the dual timeline structure is competently handled, contrasting the vibrancy of youth with the melancholy of her final days. Sparks certainly knows his audience. One reviewer wrote, "Damn, I think it just might have been his best one yet. I'm seriously an emotional wreck."
And another wrote, "Maybe I'm completely heartless, but I didn't cry even once. My kind of people. We got a listener email, well, okay, I wrote it down pretending it was a listener email, Dear Heartbook Radio. I read The Wish and now I can't stop crying and looking up my high school boyfriend. Is this normal? Signed probably you."
That is not from me, and it highlights the book's divisive nature. Some find the predictability comforting, the emotional journey cathartic. Others, like a reviewer who called it pointless conversations and insignificant details, find it tedious and formulaic.
Formulaic is his brand. It's like McDonald's, you know exactly what you're getting, even if it's not gourmet. Okay, hypothetical, if Maggie were a sandwich, what kind would she be?
I refuse to answer that.
Wrong. She'd be a soggy cucumber sandwich left out in the rain, weeping onto the bread. See, it makes perfect sense, maybe the predictability isn't so bad. Sometimes you just want literary comfort food, even if it gives you emotional indigestion. Nah, forget it, it's manipulative garbage.
Your ability to contradict yourself within a single sentence remains remarkable.
It's called keeping you on your toes. All right, wrap-up time. Let's rate this sob story.
From a literary perspective, the prose is functional but unremarkable, the characters archetypal, and the plot heavily reliant on tropes. However, it achieves its intended emotional effect for its target demographic. I give it 4 out of 10 Overuse Kleenex boxes.
Weak. I give The Wish 2 out of 5 unnecessary terminal illnesses. It made me angry, it made me roll my eyes, and it made me want to send Maggie a therapist's phone number 20 years ago. Points for the sheer audacity of the predictability, though.
Right. Well, that was The Wish. Join us next week on Heart Book Radio when we tackle Gregor the Sentient Mailbox and the existential crisis of junk mail.
Is that even a real book? Sounds amazing. Until then, keep your pages turning and your opinions loud.